Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to do a quick houseplant tour of the plants that I currently own. I have been collecting houseplants since August of last year, so it's been a little less than a year, and I currently own 23 plants. Now, I would own more. I've lost 2, so I would own 25, but 2 have died over the course of the last year, and I have moved once, so I wasn't allowing myself to collect a ton of plants before I moved. To some people 25 is a ton of plants, but I follow a lot of plant people that have way more than that. So I didn't let myself collect a lot of them before moving because I didn't want to lose them in the move, because one of those plants I did lose with the adjustment of temperature and just not adjusting well. And then I'm not sure where I'm going to end up permanently, because right now I'm staying with my parents temporarily due to the Rona. So while I have really good conditions for some of these plants right now, light-wise and stuff, I don't want to get too many, especially too many rare plants, and then move to a location that will not have the right light and stuff for them. I'm planning to prioritize the windows and try to get a south-facing window when I do move, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible. You know, like I can't make that happen for myself. So these are my plants. I hope you enjoy them. A lot of you said you wanted to see a video of my house plants, and a lot of you like my plant content, and I will be doing more planty videos. I do plan on doing like a plant wish list, which is very large. There's certain like genuses of plants that I've gotten very into and want a lot of, so I want to talk about that. Comment down below and let me know if that's something you want to see, and just let me know if there's other videos that you'd like to see. I could also do like hyped plants that I don't really like the look of and stuff. I don't know, I can do other plant content, but I definitely don't consider myself a planty expert by any means. I'm still very much a novice in this. But we'll be going through my current living situation and where the plants are located and like what windows are in front of and stuff like that. So hope you enjoy. So I'm actually going to start in what my mom calls a garden window. So this is in our kitchen right over the sink, and this is the setup of it. So this is actually an east-facing window, but there is something on top that covers one of the windows because it gets too hot in here. So starting over here, I have a Chinese money tree. This was a gift from a friend before I moved, and she's actually doing so well. Like, I don't really do much with her, but this, I mean, I think I had like 3 of like these kind of like star clumps, and now it has a ton, and these can get into like, you know, dwarf tree size. Then we have this bad boy, which is a Peperomia frost. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but it sort of has like frosty looking leaves. It looks wild. For the longest time I thought this was going to die. And then all of these things, these like rat tail looking things, are actually its flowers. It doesn't smell like anything, but these look really weird. And so when they get kind of droopy like this, usually I just like pull them off. But I don't want to cut them off, even though I prefer the foliage, because it means that they're happy. So yeah, I don't like how kind of stretched out it's getting a bit, but I feel like any closer to the sun, it's actually not going to do so well. So this is a plant that like I'm sort of constantly going back and forth with about if it's happy or not, but all the flowers make me think that it is. And then we have this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. So it's a variegated obtusifolia. People also call this, I think, a baby rubber tree. But this has very succulent leaves and is really easy for me. So it's already gotten some new leaves this year. It did have flowers last year, much like the other Peperomia, but it has not yet this year, which is fun because it's getting new leaves and stuff, and it's pretty easy and resilient. Then I have this little cutting of a wandering dude rooting. This guy broke off the mother plant while I was watering it, so yeah, and it looks really nice. I mean, this is a Tradescanthia Sabrina is the name, and it's purple and like silvery and green and stuff, and these are some of the leaves that look really nice. So I want to try to save them and then reroot them back in the mother plant. The mother plant's in another room, so I'll show you that later. This is a Peperomia, not sure what kind. It's just a small one that I saw, I think at like a Home Depot or Lowe's when I was first getting into plants, and I decided to buy it. So it's like not my favorite, but like it stays alive and is pretty easy to take care of. Then I have just this normal standard ZZ plant. This is like what everyone calls like an indestructible plant. You have to water it like once a month. They actually take really well to neglect, and it could even be in a place with less lighting, but I'm trying to have it grow a lot this summer. Then we have this Dracaena Jade Jewel. I don't love Dracaenas, but I do love this one because it has like the white and stuff in it. This one kind of looks like sad sometimes, so I'm not sure if it's like, if it loves its life or not, but I'm trying. Then I got this giant Xenographica, is that what it is? It's an air plant. So this actually doesn't have any soil in it. These are actually plants that grow on other things like trees and stuff, and they don't need soil, so you just dunk them in water like once every couple of weeks or once a month depending. So I got her a couple of weeks ago because I had another one which was a bit smaller than this, and in the move it did not make it. So I'm trying again and hope that it doesn't die. And then I have some green onions. Like whenever I use them, I then try to regrow them in water, and then I just put them in the soil after. So that's my little vegetable hobby that I do. And this is a little like succulent that I actually thought was fake for the longest time because I didn't water it forever, and it is actually dying / could be dead. But it's just like in moss. I got it from Home Depot for like $1, and I never did anything with it. So I'm not really a succulent person, but this is again one of the things that I got when I first started getting into plants. Then on this shelf is sort of my little quarantine zone. So this is still an east-facing window. I used to have more plants on here, but this is kind of like an uneven base, so it's actually not good to have like the humidifier and stuff on it unless it's facing this way. Whatever, not important. This is a Calathea Macoyana that I've actually had for a while and was doing pretty good, but then I started getting these yellowing leaves, as you can see. I already cut off one yellow leaf. I kind of just wait for them to get like really yellow and die, because I find that if I cut off a yellow leaf too soon when it's sick like this, it spreads to another leaf. But I think this had spider mites, like not a huge infestation because I keep the soil moist and I have a humidifier next to it and all this stuff, but this was in another part of the house, which I will show you later. But I think that that's what was causing the leaves to die, because it was leaves that were up here, not leaves at the bottom, because that's actually old leaves. So I thought I might have an issue. So I sprayed it down with neem oil the other day, and hopefully I can rehabilitate it and it won't die. I mean, it's not the rarest Calathea, but I've already lost one Calathea to spider mites like last year, so I don't want that to happen again. So then I have this humidifier next to it to keep it good. And then over here I have a heartleaf philodendron. This one I also think I might have potentially bought with spider mites. So when I took this one, I actually sprayed this one down too. This one's been quarantined over here by itself before the other one came over here, because I thought it might have mites, but like I wasn't really sure. Like it's sometimes hard to tell if it's like dust or if it's mites or whatever. So I got this from a place because I drove like a 3-hour round trip to this one nursery, and they didn't really have anything I wanted, but they had these, so I just like got it because I was pissed. And I do want one of these, but I didn't need to get that one right now, and obviously I wasn't sure if it had mites, so I probably shouldn't have. But it's doing like fairly well. I mean, look, it's growing a lot and it has new leaves and whatever. And when I got it, it was like this tall, so all of this stuff is new. But yeah, this is its little like rehab area. And then I also keep like my plant stuff over here, like mosquito bits and whatever. Then in front of this north facing window is my Photonia or nerve plant. She was my very first plant and I love her to death, but she has flopped so many times that I think now she's like permanently in this state. I've gotten to the point where I water her like every 2 days now, but she's still not like totally happy. Like this side looks fine, but this side is still droopy, like no matter what I do. I don't know. So she just like, she used to be in the window with the other plants. She didn't really like it there. At my old place, she was somewhere else. She used to be great, and I think she just flopped too many times, and now she's sad. So I love her, and she doesn't like, the leaves don't look bad, but like the floppiness, I don't love. But she's still one of my favorites, even though she's dramatic. Okay, now we are in my bedroom, which has my favorite plants. So first is this little part that has my calatheas and snake plants. All the prayer plants. So this is usually where the Macoyana is, actually right next to this. And I have this humidifier here that goes all the time. This is a Calathea Freddy. This was right next to the Macoyana, so I'm like, does this have like spider mites? I don't think so. It's continuously getting crispy, and I'm just like, why? Because I keep the humidifier on, so I'm like, why are you angry? So that's upsetting, but it also is putting out like new leaves and stuff. So I don't know, but it does have that one yellow leaf at the bottom, but that's an old leaf. I'm just trying to, like, I'm hoping that it's just fine. I actually picked this up, not because it was one of like the favorites or even the Calathea that I really wanted, but it was so cheap when I got the Macoyana. They were both like 20 bucks at this nursery when I lived in Delaware. So I got this guy. So it's like not my favorite Calathea where I'm like really upset about it being crispy, but I'm also like, why? And then this guy is reviving itself. This is a rattlesnake plant. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that my cat destroyed this right before I moved. So all of this stuff is stuff that she actually chewed away at. And then obviously the leaves are like dying and crispy because of just like being chewed at. So I cut away most of it, but kept the leaves because, especially this one, because I wanted it to still be able to like photosynthesize and possibly come back. And so all winter it looked like garbage, like it just had these leaves. And then just now, in the last like month or so, this guy's come up, and then there's another little baby one down there that you guys can probably see. So that's exciting because this will revive itself, and it's probably honestly like one of my favorite prayer plants. because it's just like a little bit hardier than the rest of them. Like this is the first one I ever got, and it used to grow like, it used to have a ton of leaves. Like I've even cut off some leaves. Like it used to be like nice and big and bushy and wonderful. So I'm hoping it revives itself this summer and comes back to life fully. This is a south and east facing window. So this is where the majority of my plants go. This is my Monstera deliciosa. Look at her, she's beautiful. So I got her, and already like this leaf is new. There's a leaf down here that's new. I think one of these, this one might be new as well. And then there's ones like growing in and stuff. So she's doing really well, and I can't wait until the time when she's like big and beautiful. Then this is sort of like my altar to nature, I want to say, kind of. Like I just love all my plants, and my crystals go on here now. So this is my Pothos Marble Queen Pothos. So she looks like a little droopy sometimes. I'm not really sure why that is. I think it's just because she's like getting longer. I'm not even sure to like, when I repotted her into this bigger pot, because it used to be in like a really small 4-inch pot, it almost looked like there was a bunch of cuttings that like weren't really super well rooted. So yeah, I want her to be like big and just like cascading, but she kind of has just stayed this and hasn't really gotten like new leaves. Well, I guess this one has. Like a few of them I feel like are rooted, but some of them just like aren't. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I might even buy like a new one and like combine them and figure all that out. Then we have this Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen. She is so big now. Like when I got her, she was like just the size of the pot. Now all this stuff is growing. She has like 3 little tendrils off here. This will be new leaves. She hasn't gotten any peduncles or anything yet, but she is glorious. And when she comes in, she almost has like a pink hue to her leaves. I love her. She's my first Hoya and one of my faves. And then possibly my favorite plant currently is this Scindapsus pictus Silvery Ann. She is beautiful. This whole vine has grown since the spring, like big, and there's just continuously new leaves. These leaves are all sprouting out and growing into like actual vines and stuff, so she's gonna be big and gorgeous, and I can't wait. I just love her. Like she's just one of my favorites. And these are some of my newer plants. So this is a Philodendron Micans. She's also grown a lot since I got her. So when I first got her, she was like just these leaves down here, and now like there's some baby leaves down there, if you can see that. And there's these like vines, like all this vine is new since, when did I get her? April, I want to say, as like just like a little propagated cutting on Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, she's doing great. I got this one from the same Facebook Marketplace person. This is a Monstera Adansonii. She just is like wild. Like the way that new leaves grow in, I don't know if you can see, is just like wild. So she's constantly getting new leaves. She's doing really well. I'll eventually probably put her on like a pole or something, because I don't really love Monstera Adansonii when they're trailing. As you can see, I really like trailing plants, but I don't really like them when they're trailing, so I'll probably have her climb up a pole. I'll eventually get a pole for the Monstera deliciosa as well. This is probably my second favorite plant. Really all the plants on this shelf are like my favorites, like on this like metal shelf. But this is my String of Hearts, or my Serapegi woodii variegata. I found this just magically at a plant shop locally, and I only got this a couple weeks ago, and it was only like this long, and now it's grown like all the way down, and all these sprouts, these long guys right up here, that's all like new. So it was just like very bald looking up here, and now it's looking like a little more lush and beautiful. Like it's not the most lush and beautiful I've seen, but it's like a baby, and I got it for $6. So yeah, I'm also on a wait list for a lot of online shops for a bigger size. I think like a 6-inch pot. It's already like 2 feet long from, I think, Pistols Nursery, I want to say. I forget where I have them on a bunch of wish lists for plants in different places. So, and that one's not variegated, because this one is variegated. As you can see, there's like the pink and stuff. And I also just want like a plain green one. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then this is my newest addition. This is a Hoya Burtonii, and this is beautiful. I got this from my Etsy seller, and it came in really good condition. So it's still in its sphagnum moss. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. But these leaves also come in like kind of like pinky purplish. I don't know if you can see, but they have like those really firm leaves, and then they kind of feel velvety satiny. I love it. If you look up pictures of these like bigger, they're beautiful, and yeah, I'm really excited. So there's already like 3 little vines off of there. And then my last plant is this little wandering dude, the mother plant of that Tradescanthia Sabrina cuttings that I had. So this one suffered for a while over the winter. Like it just like was drying out, and it was really hard to water because it's so full, and it was in a smaller pot. But since I put it in this bigger pot, it's really like flourished. I mean, these things grow like weeds. So there are like a ton of, you know, trailing things. These just get big and bushy. It gets a little crispy sometimes, but I feel like since I moved it here, because it used to be out in the other window, it's actually doing better, because I think it likes having a little bit more of the sunlight from the south-facing window as well. Oops, LOL, I bought 2 more plants yesterday. So I got this Hoya macrophylla, and this has a ton of little like new growth spots and stuff. This one's big. Look at how like big that is in comparison to the other ones. That's like a 6-inch pot. So I am planning on getting a trellis for this. I'm probably actually gonna move it over here by this guy. So I'm gonna get a trellis for that so that it'll wrap around the trellis. And then I got a Hoya Crimson Princess, which is the opposite of the Crimson Queen that I showed you earlier. And this already has a lot of little growth spots too. But this is, the variegation is on the inside, so it's like the white on the inside of the leaves and the gray on the outside instead of the Crimson Queen that I already have, which is the white on the outside, gray on the inside. So I wasn't gonna get this because I'm like, I already have the Crimson Queen, and I'm like, no, gotta collect them all, and I want the Crimson Princess too. And this also has a lot of little new growth points and stuff as well. So now I'm done for now. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful, entertaining, whatever it is you look for in a houseplant doer. So comment below, let me know if you have any of these plants, if there's any plants that I said were struggling that you might have tips for. Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.